Hello, this is Becca from Kaijumon, and today I'm going to be going through this tier list I made, ranking all of my designs up until May 2023. The criterion which I'm ranking them is kind of arbitrary, mostly based off of my enjoyment of the design. So let's get started with the first on this list. I'm not sure if I like Aerodactyl very much. I didn't really know what I was doing with the scales when I made it. So I feel like it looks a bit messy. The wings are okay. It's not my favorite. I haven't painted one yet. I do have one in my big box to paint. I don't know. I'm gonna give it like a B. It's in the middle. I'm in the middle with it. I'm not super fond of it, but I'm also not like I don't hate it. Agron, pretty fun. First mecha-y one I did. He kind of looks like an Eva. He was a pain to make though. But I think he looks really good. I really like Agron. I'm gonna put him in A. I think Arceus is probably the best out of the four legendaries I did. He definitely looks like the Dark Souls boss I was going for. So yeah, I think Arceus. A for Arceus. I like Arceus. He's my favorite, but I don't know if he's A tier because I think he's a bit of a mess. I haven't painted one either yet. I don't know how easy he is to paint. Okay. A for Archeops. Articuno, first of the 3 legendary birds I did. I like Articuno's model a lot. I spent a lot of time making sure the little tail bits, I wish I made them a bit thicker because they kind of break every time you print it. The wings, they are a mess, but I think it makes the feathers look more natural. I'm not sure. A for Articuno. It's okay. Some people like it. Not bad. It's not my worst. Not my best. I put a lot of time into these scales, but I don't know if they really work. Aros, not bad. It's not good. I don't really like it. Blastoise is like one of the OG ones I made. He's good. Kind of like Gamera, but he has a very detailed base. I like him. I think he's got to go in A tier. Not a fan. I didn't really know what I was doing with the fins or the even like feet are fine. I don't really like how I did the barnacle-y thing. His design just confused me as well. I'm gonna give him a D. I don't really like him. I don't really want to print him. Charizard, one of the OGs. I think he's good. I really like the head. I spent a lot of time working on the head. He's very spiky. I like him actually. Like I can't really. I think I would do differently. Just the way I made the model, I'd do it differently now. I really like Chamu. I spent a lot of time on him, making sure this pose looked good. I think he's got to go in S. Honestly, I spent a lot of time on this one, and I have a lot of fondness for it. He's okay. I liked him more at the time. He's a bit of a mess. Yeah, I'm not sure. He's Dark Soulsy, like that's the vibe I was going for. I like the theme. It's a bit fleshy. I don't know, maybe if he was coloured. He's gonna go C. This one's Palkia. He's a horse. I like him. A lot of very fine detail that probably doesn't come out very well either. But he's fun. I like him more. So where is he? Yeah, he's in a B with the Dialga being a C. Now we got Donphan. He's okay. He's got the classic rock problem where I want to make the skin look rocky, but on the grey render, I don't think it looks very good. But I think if it was painted, the rock would look really good. Yeah, he's okay. He's not my favorite design, so he can go C tier. I think Great Tusk is like way higher up. I really like Great Tusk. It's just a better Donphan. I put a lot more effort into this design. Like I put a lot of time into making sure these scales are rocky but also really stand out. That should be good for painting, and I spent a lot of time making sure the fur was good. And on these tusks, yeah, honestly, Great Tusk, A tier. Iron Treads. It's not a very flattering image because it's not a very flattering model. He's not a very nice design. I had very little to work with. The Nintendo version of this model is very odd. I had to give it actual legs because regular Iron Tread kind of is really bad looking, in my opinion. I think he's fine. He's not my favorite. I think I'm gonna put him D. I'm not really a big fan. And now we got Dragonite. He's very goofy, and this model extremely detailed. Every single scale is hand placed. Very easy to paint. Yeah, I think he's a good model. Not everyone's a fan of the goofy little Dragonite, but I like this model, and I'm gonna give it a B. Vaporeon, I'm gonna say it, S tier. Honestly, the first one I did, the most effort I put in. Each one of these scales is hand painted. I put a lot of time into this model. So every other evolution is this body, just stripped of detail and with the proportions mixed up a bit. This one also had to set the standard of how I was going to do the base, what scale they were going to be, keeping them all in line. Vaporeon, I think S tier. Flareon, it's okay. He's not my favorite. I like the face. I love detail into the face. A lot of time into making sure it looked like kind of a really fierce line. Making sure it looked different enough from Vaporeon, but not too different. The body's definitely a lot shorter and stockier than Vaporeon, but then it has this giant tail to kind of make up for the small, compact body. The fur, I'm not very good at doing fur and fire. My fire kind of looks a bit bad. It's hard to make it look fluffy. So I think Flareon is not bad. I think he's an A, maybe. I'll put him in A. He's not bad. Got Jolteon here. My personal favorite evolution. He's okay. He's very simple design. He's not really got a tail going on, so there's not really anything I can do there. And the only real redeeming quality is he's got fur around his neck. But yeah, Jolteon, I think he's fine. Quite simple. Not much going on. Not really much to get wrong. And because of that, I don't think he can go in S. I think he's got to go in A as well. Espeon, pretty good. I like it. I put a lot of detail into the fur because otherwise it's just a cat. It looks mystical. I like it. I think Espeon's pretty high. I like the fur. Oops. I like how I did the fur as well on the face. Spent a lot of time working on these tufts of fur under the ears. I think I should move these two into B. Espeon can go into A, with the Vaporeon being S. And then we got Umbreon. Umbreon was tough. Trying to make it look soft and fluffy is hard, especially when it's meant to be short fur. Also, it's the only one that's more fox-like, definitely. At least I went for more of a fox-like look because it's got the kind of fox tail and the fox ears. He's okay. I don't think he's the best one, even though I spent a lot of time trying to get his face to look right. Spent a lot of time on this one. A lot more. I think he's C. He's not the best evolution. These are the two most recent ones. Leafeon. I had a lot of fun. I like Leafeon a lot. Hand sculpting each one of these little leaves onto the body was a bit of a pain. It's cute. It's like a little forest sort of kitty cat. So yeah, Leafeon, pretty good, I think. Not S, but definitely high A. And then we got the last one that I've made so far, Glaceon. I'm not a big fan of Glaceon. I had never looked at its design too closely until I decided to sculpt it. And I realized just how bare the design is. The only real thing it has is its kind of head tassels. So I had to really just add some stuff. Yeah, the feet, regular Glaceon just has kind of a line and then a change of color. And I was like, well, I gotta do something. So that something was just turn the feet into eyes. I like the face. I think the face turned out really well along with it. Like it definitely has a mood. Glaceon has a mood to it that I wanted to capture and I think I definitely did. Glaceon, he's fine. I don't know actually. I'm gonna put Glaceon next to Umbreon. I think they both have the same sort of issues of being very basic designs I've had to add detail to. Flygon's fine. I quite like Flygon. I put a lot of time into the wings and I think they would turn out really well. I think he's got a lot of detail and that's going to turn out really well. I think he'd be really good to paint. I think Flygon's an A. I think pretty good, solid. I like him. The big Crocker Kaiju, he's definitely one of my favorites. So yeah, I think I don't even need to spend too much time talking about Feraligatr. He's S tier. I spent so much time looking at crocodile scales and different crocker kaijus, just crocodiles and alligators. Is he a crocodile? Is he an alligator? Who knows? He's a good one. I like him. Garchomp is one of my older ones. Not as old as Charizard and Blastoise. I like him. He's a bit awkward though. His design is a bit awkward. Like the scale's a bit muddy. His proportions are a bit off, I feel like, but he's fine. He's like he's B. Like he's not great, but he's not that bad. Next we got Gengar, and yeah, Gengar is definitely extremely popular. I think I did a really good job with the mini, having it sort of float on the tongue. When I made Gengar, I wasn't a big fan, but I've seen a lot of people really like him. And even though he was like a really quick sort of sculpt, he's not a very big Pokemon, so there's not really that much to do. I mostly only just spent a lot of time doing these sort of like wispy bits. And I think he's got, honestly, he's not S for me. Is B a bit too harsh? I don't know. I think I'm gonna put him in B because I like all these other ones more. Giratina I'm a little bit torn on because I like him, but he was a mess. And the pose, I really struggled to get a pose that kind of, it's a weird centipede dragon. I like him thematically, but I don't know if I can really rate him that highly. I think he's gonna go B as well. Greymon, he's fine. He's only here for the lulz. He'll go in, he's B tier. Big Leviathan. People miss as well the little Magikarp on the side. I think I did a pretty good job with this one. He is mostly just the same scale body segment, copy and pasted over and over again. Getting the right look for his face was hard. I think I quite like him. I think I'm gonna put him in A tier. Not S, but he's pretty high. Ho, big bird. I like it. I think I'm gonna give, I don't know if it's S. Actually no, it's gonna be S. I think Ho is really good. I really like Ho. I struggled a lot with the feathers and with the base and everything. With the design, I think the design in total is pretty solid. The renders don't really do it justice. It's got a lot of detail, way too much detail. I love the face. The feathers, I was still learning how to do feathers. The feathers on Ho-Ho are way better. I learned a lot doing this Hydreigon. The feathers on the necks and the nightmare. This guy was a whole, just a logistic nightmare to make. So for that, he's going in A. But I do actually, I don't know. His feathers aren't perfect though. They're very stiff. They don't really blend in very well. But I like him a lot. Volcarona is pretty good. It's solid, sort of basic bug. I like the fire. I like how it sits in the fire. Wings, really nice and detailed. I think this is a pretty good model. We give it a nice solid A as well. C, it's not a dragon. It goes B. I like Iron Moth. I like it more than Iron Treads. Definitely 100% more. I really like the pattern I did on the wings, and it's quite sleek. I like it. I like the base as well, how you made it float. So for that, I think it's gonna be a nice A. C, is it? No, it's gonna be B. Slitherwing, I think it's a better Volcarona. Slitherwing goes into A. I like it. Like a little kaiju moth, fluffy monster. It basically takes the things I like from Volcarona and turns it into a kaiju, which is why it's above Volcarona. This one's gonna be a low, so there's a D for me. It's fine. I'm not a fan. I'm just not a fan. It's not really much to work with. It was a tentacle kraken monster. I did my best. I put a lot of time into the shell. And then Kabutops, pretty fun, like fossilized version. He's good, I like him. I don't like him that much, but he's definitely a B. He's on par with Aerodactyl because they're both meant to look rocky, and I think he was better executed than the flying rock. I like Koraidon a lot. He's got a lot of detail. I love things that just have scales. I can just put scales on, and that's what I did with him. So I think he's just a well executed design. The feathers were fine. I had to kind of guess at how the design was because I did him before release. I like him. I think I'm gonna put him S. That's how much I like him. And then Miraidon, he's fine. I took some liberties with his design. I actually think he looks better than I remembered, but I think all of the mecha ones are hard to paint because they don't have that many sort of grooves and stuff. But he's cool, he's sleek. And for that, he's gonna go into A. Not as good as Koraidon, but still pretty cool. He's really hard to render because he's so big. He's got so many parts. These are all the parts he's in. And that's not counting the base. It's hard to get the tail into the base. It's a nightmare to put together. He's not a beginner model. He's definitely more of the intermediate, just to put together. Like I struggled to put together. I fixed the issues now, but I used to get comments all the time saying, how can I put my Lugia on the base? I'm like, just pray. But he's gonna go into S. Even though he does have issues, he's there next to the Ho-Oh. They go together. The two big legendaries I've done. So we've got regular Tita. He's a basic, he's a staple, standard. One of the like 4th designs I did. He's pretty solid. He's like a rock Godzilla. I think Tita, I think he's a solid A. I think he's good. He's also really easy to paint. Mecha Godzilla. He's fine. I like him actually. Pretty neat. I don't like his regular design. I think I added a lot to it. He's pretty cool. He's got detail. Well, you can see the detail, the panel lining. Pretty nice. I think he goes into A. I actually quite like him. And then we've got Mega T-Tar, which is just T-Tar but slightly bigger, slightly different. This one I made last month. This one I made 2 years ago. I did just take this model and add to it. I redid the chest, redid the back spikes. He's fine. Not really iterating on the design as a Mega. You can go into B. I don't like him. Well, it's not like I don't like him. He's a dragon. He does not really look like Salamence. He's just a dragon. And for that, he's D. Mega Sal, I like him. Pretty funny looking. But he actually looks like Mega Sal, unlike Salamence that just looked like a Drake. So Mega Salamence gets a B. And then Roaring Moon, I like Roaring Moon a lot as well. Actually, I think I really like Roaring Moon. I spent a lot of time trying to figure out how to do the wings, and I ended up kind of going with this feathered effect in like the crescent. I think it works. I like him. I think he goes into A. Never been a fan. He's kind of just bland. I had to really kind of spruce him up a bit. Gave him a bunch of texture on his skin just so he had something going on. He has like leaves going down the neck. I'm not a fan, unfortunately. Meganium, I did you dirty, I think. He's a good guy. I like him. And he's got 2 poses as well because I was feeling generous. That's where he goes, S tier. I like him a lot. I like him. What did I put Articuno? A, yep, Zapdos. A as well. Moltres, he's fine. I actually like my rendition of Moltres way more than regular Moltres. While I'm still learning how to do feathers, his wings are also a bit jank. I don't think he's as high. I think he's not A, he's B. Just because he's not as well executed, but Moltres is a weird bird. It doesn't really have much going for it. Nidoking and Nidoqueen. Now, Nidoking, he's a solid, my first design. Nidoqueen, he's okay. Nidoking, I gotta put him in S, even though he has caused me so many problems. He's got so many issues. I need to basically redo the whole model because of how poorly I made it. Not much has changed, I don't think, on my style. And I know definitely they're more clean, the details are more pronounced now. Nidoqueen. Nidoqueen's fine. They're fine. I was just kind of imitating Nidoking with the style. You can kind of tell. I think she can go at the top as well. The king and queens, they can go at the top. I like him, but I feel like he's not popular. He's a bit weird looking. He is a weird toad. He's fine. I don't know how I could improve him. He definitely looks like a monster. He looks very monstrous. I like the detail on the face. Big gaping mouth. I don't really think he can really get much better. I'm not a big fan of Venusaur, but he can go in A. I like the design. I like the face. Prints pretty well. The wings do struggle. If it's smaller than this, the wings get really, really thin and brittle. He goes in, I don't know if he goes in A. I think B. Actually, he'll get A because he's a dragon. I don't know. He's fine. He's a tree. If people are fan, I try and diversify. I try not to just make dragons. He's fine. I like him. He's not badly executed. I don't hate him. He could be a C. He's fine. Tyrantrum. He's pretty cool. He's a big T-Rex with feathers. I approve. Can't really go wrong with this. S tier. Great design. So yeah, we got, if I had to rank them, I don't know if I can rank S. I think they're all pretty good. I think my least favorite is definitely Meganium. I think all these are justified. I don't really like any of these bottom tier ones. C are just the ones I don't really feel much attachment to. I feel like I could have done, they're fine. B, they're cool. A are ones I like a lot. I feel like Hydreigon should be an S if I redid him. If I redid the feathers better. And yeah, Charizard is obviously king. Alligator. Nidoking and Nidoqueen at the bottom of S. Oh, and Lugia, pretty high. And then I think the rest of them are fine. So yeah, that's the tier list finally done. All the models are available here.